Hello, welcome to Gatemaster's feature drop for May 2026. We have a pretty exciting feature drop for you. I know usually there's about 6 weeks, but we were able to get a pretty quick turnaround on this latest update. I know our last one just came out in April, so I got a ton of exciting new features for you. Some exciting features to discuss in the future. Our usual pro services and Live with Sandra talk. I do have a new section about our new Blueprint webinar, and then we'll wrap it up with our Q&A. So make sure to keep an eye out for that new section. Starting off, I'm hoping you all know me. My name is Manny. I'm the support technician, and I lead our QA and development efforts here at Gatemaster as well. So I'll be guiding you through what exactly we were able to add here in May. Joining me today, we have our executive assistant, Ariana Blackwell. She's going to be helping me out through the Q&A, and she's absolutely vital to Gatemaster success in or outside of these webinars. We love Ariana. I think I'm just going to jump straight into the new features. So a long-awaited one that we've always kind of entertained but finally built in was extending the item validation settings to the access node. So as many of you know, Gatemaster is not just a point of sale. We have tons of different seat options allowing you to kind of manage your traction in whatever way you want, one of which being this validation access node. So here you can scan tickets and get yes, it's valid, no, it's not valid. And one big extension we made is each item has a section where you can define its validity. So whether that's a specific time and date, or maybe it's, after 6 p.m. every day, maybe it only is sold on Fridays, whatever that is, we try to accommodate that availability. And historically, these valid settings only ever affected sales on the point of sale. But with the latest update, we're actually now seeing these settings go into effect on the access node. So, for example, here, this item that I'm showing wouldn't have started to be able to be sold until the 19th today. But with the new access node settings, it also wouldn't have been available for scanning either. So this is going to add a ton of availability for, I'd say, really unique item setups, whether that's, discounted admissions after a certain time of day, discounted, food offerings that we're validating. And along with this, we built in new access node responses. So instead of just getting, invalid, we'll actually tell you why exactly it's invalid. So not just the invalid date, but we'll tell you, hey, it's the day of the week, the month, or the exact time that you need to edit if you want this to change. So please take that into account. I know for existing Gatemaster setups, you may have had some validity settings kind of aimed to control the sales, but just now keep in mind that they can also affect the redemption side. Another very long-awaited feature that I'm very excited to announce is sending digital passes from the point of sale. So I think it was winter last year we introduced these very nice Apple passes here on the right, and then unpictured we also support Google passes, but there was no way to do it outside of completing a web transaction. So to bring that workflow kind of to completion, now on your point of sale, whenever you're viewing a user that has a valid season pass, you can email them any pass in their pass history. And this is actually not the new feature. The new feature is how this email is formatted. So we would always include that PDF that you see there, but along with this, we're including the prompts to create those digital passes. So maybe someone bought their pass in person at the park, and they lost their ID card and they're not wanting to cough up the extra money for the replacement. This is an easy solution. Maybe someone just needs a replacement for whatever reason. This makes it a lot easier than what we had in the past. And I know for guests, carrying something digitally is just infinitely easier than carrying around. I mean, even like a sheet of paper, if you got a barcode somehow. I think a lot of customers are preferring the digital more and more nowadays. So keep this in mind. Anytime you're using that email button specifically from the point of sale, it's going to include those digital pass prompts. Another one that I know a ton of customers are going to be happy about is our photo upload has been expanded to allow more valid file types. So historically, it's only allowed JPG and PNG files, which for a while worked, but for those that don't know, iPhones don't take PNG or JPG photos. So for all our iPhone users, they'd try uploading a photo and it'd be incompatible and they'd have to mess with the file type and it always led to troubles. Um, so now, funny enough, on our end, we're still storing the photos as JPGs, but you can upload any photo. We essentially created a photo converter. So whenever you're on the sheet, you can upload any, JPG, the high efficiency image formats that iPhones do by default. And of course, the previously available PNGs and JPGs, those are all available now. So really the only ones we didn't include were SVGs, DMPs, kind of graphic design formats, just since these are intended to be photos of a human and we didn't want to, support graphic design formats for something like that. So uh, if you've had guests complaining about the photo upload or someone who, historically has troubles with it, definitely make sure to point this out to them because um, it's just a ton smoother now. It accepts essentially any photo you can give it. So. And I think one of the final ones I'll be discussing today is our terms and conditions in rich text. So this is another one where, for as long as Gatemaster Mobile has been a thing, these terms and conditions at the bottom actually were just in plain text. So you weren't able to increase font size, change text color, bold the text, things like that. It would just show up as plain text. So as time's gone on, we've seen people really like to, bring attention to certain parts of the text, and more than just the language and the spacing is important, bolds, colors, all those things are important. So your terms and conditions now support that. Um, it's just like the content blocks, so most of it's written in HTML or Markdown, and if you need help with that, Gatemaster support can definitely assist. So if you're looking at your terms and conditions and they look a little different, definitely reach out and we can help you tidy them up or improve them in whichever way you'd like. So um, keep those things in mind. I think this is the last feature I go through today, but this update did contain a pretty heavy amount of fixes, and I know, for example, I'm not discussing a reporting change that went out around our transaction reports just to provide some more levity around discounts and things like that. So make sure to check out the entire feature list on our forums and the Gatemaster user portal. I just got that up earlier today, and there you can see kind of more extensive details around every feature fix. And just kind of tasks completed. For example, we dispatched a new QZ tray certificate with this update. But if you want to know that until you read the settings or until you read the feature list on the user portal. So there you go. Um, as far as new features go, I do have a good bit that I think we've been working on and definitely good status updates, and then just some exciting new features for you all to consider. So first things first, there's going to be an Alvarado expansion to the integration. So right now we support, scanning a season pass and a ticket and making a simple redemption. Alvarado actually has they call it a group ticket, but we're going to use it to redeem season pass benefits. So on the virtual access node, if you have a season pass, you'll actually get the option of, hey, do you want to just redeem your admission, or do you want to redeem a buddy ticket, or anything that season pass entitles you to. Alvarado does something similar, so we're introducing that behavior, and then it'll introduce a whole new workflow. So instead of having to scan the same season pass, once for the admission, then maybe twice more for the buddy tickets, you'll be able to do it all from one single scan. So that's going to be really awesome. And as far as this goes, this is essentially code complete. We're just being really thorough with the testing since it is a pretty big change to the existing workflow. Yeah, really excited for when that comes out. I would expect that with our next release coming soon. One I think I touched on last time is the penny rounding. So in February 2025, the US stopped minting new pennies. I think as of now, there's still hundreds of millions of pennies out there, but as time continues on, they'll continue to get rarer and rarer. So we are Gatemaster are going to support penny rounding, and I think our intention is to support customization within that. So whether you want to always take the customer's favor or you always need the rounding to work in your favor, we intend to support whatever your needs are there. Something new that was brought to our attention was our receipt formats. So depending on your payment processor, you may have certain little details. We try to keep it common across the board, but there are attributes that are missing off of certain ones. So we're going to go in and across the board, we're going to try to standardize all the receipts. So regardless of your payment processor, you could be confident that, you'll have the masked credit card number, and any, details pertinent to that transaction. So just tidying up the receipts, you can expect that soon in our latest update as well. One that I think we'd had announced for a while was the color coding mobile orders. So with our mobile ordering, you can set it for pickup or you can have them delivered to cabanas. But this creates an interesting problem for your kitchen where um, they're not really sure if the kitchen needs or if the order needs to be delivered or if it's going to be picked up because the person's waiting for it right there. Um, so with using the color coding, we're going to be able to designate, hey, this one needs to be delivered, this one doesn't, and just kind of increase operational efficiency without doing too much work, just by adding some colors in there, which is exciting. And then another long-standing one, the tap and go access control. This is another one that's feature complete. We're just kind of doing extra testing around and making sure it's compatible for everyone. In that image, you can see what a contactless Apple Pass looks like. So very similarly, instead of a barcode, ours is just going to have the hold near reader prompt instead if you support contactless access wherever your location is. And then one final one that, for full transparency, has taken a bit of a backseat to some of our designs, but something we're still fully dedicated to going is our location manager. So this is for our multi-location facilities, people that are interested in tracking, inventories, items, maybe different logos or company names, all under the same database. We're trying to formulate a good, medium to accommodate all that. So currently, there's definitely some multi-location features, but I think the goal for the location manager is to create um, like an entire section of the application for it, essentially. So that'll be exciting, but definitely a bigger project. And I think this is something we can expect to see towards the end of 2026. As far as when you can expect our next release, so for some of those features I said you can expect sooner, I would say late June, around our 6-week timeline would be good. And for a little peek behind the curtains, we are, heads down working on our newest e-commerce redesign. So I think that next release will also include a good bit of information on our G6 update that I know a lot of you are excitedly awaiting. So I think that's it for the updates. I'm going to go through our pro services here. If you are a Gatemaster customer, you may or may not know you're entitled to a certain amount of seats. And well, what is a seat? A seat is a computer operating Gatemaster. So whether that's a point of sale, one of the access nodes I talked about earlier, the kitchen screen that we're going to color in the future, those are all one unique seat. So if you ever do decide, hey, I need an extra point of sale, I'm really interested in those access nodes Manny talked about. Um, our kitchen staff wants a kitchen screen. Those are all additional seats, which are available for a flat rate through our pro services. So um, we don't just do additional seats either. As you'll see on this list here, we do data entry. So whether you have a huge data set of employees or customer information to enter, our development team can help you. And I think best of all, our custom development services. Really, I'm proud of these because we try to bring your brainchild to life. So if there's a feature that you feel like the application is missing or that your operation in specific would benefit greatly from, be sure to reach out to Gatemaster support with any ideas you have for custom development. There's a um, there's a small fee to get the process started, and then of course the development is at cost as well. But um, I always think it's worth exploring if there's something that you think might improve your overall experience. And of course, for those of you that don't know, here's just more additional seats. This one on the right, we call an additional display. So this is intended to be a guest-facing display so they could verify that the point of sale is, you're selling them the correct items. So again, whether it's development items, data need entries, extra licenses, be sure to reach out to your pro services to get that done. We have a ton of Live with Sandra planned for you here soon in the next few weeks. I think tomorrow, yes, tomorrow we have Liz Sanchez. She's the founder of Looking Glass Strategies. She'll be on with Sandra. And then next week she has Greg Luther, which two very exciting ones. Um, and of course, if you're ever interested in being a guest on Live with Sandra, um, I promise that we're more than likely interested in having you if you have something interested to share around the attraction space, um, the amusement space, theme parks, water parks, things like that in general. Please be our guest. Please enlighten us and share what you have to share. So, for any of those interested, feel free to scan this QR code. I'll leave it up here for probably 20, 30 seconds and be sure to reach out. We're always scheduling things and we are always trying to have new exciting guests. So even if you think, oh, I'm just, theme park adjacent, we'd probably love to have you. We love learning more about, all the little intricacies that make a park or a facility run. And I know at the very beginning I mentioned there was a new webinar series. So this is actually our Blueprint webinar series. This is going to be focused more towards operations. So I'm not sure if any of you guys read Tiffany Blair, Tiffany Blair's articles that she posts on LinkedIn. She's essentially shares stories or experiences from her, time in the industry and how that can be translated into improving your business. Think of this as like the webinar series of those articles. So I imagine the topics are going to be very fluid. This first one's going to be on mastering high volume guest flow and revenue capturing. But as the weeks go on, maybe there's a specific topic that interests you. Make sure you keep an eye out for all the new ones coming out. And for this one, I believe this is on Thursday, so if you can, make sure to register. And lastly, very early shout out for anyone interested. We did get the dates finalized for our GT Summit. So next February 3rd and 4th, that's in 2027, we are hosting our third annual GT Summit. So for anyone that doesn't know, it's kind of a space for other attraction leaders or people in amusement operations to meet up and kind of share their experiences, expertise, lessons, things that other people might want to know. So through the first two, I feel like we've just gotten better and better, and I'm really excited to see how this third one turns out. Um, and right now we're running a very, very great deal off of our in-person tickets. If you visit the link and use the code EARLYBIRD, you are getting 50% off any in-person tickets for purchasing so far ahead of time. So make sure to keep that in mind and get yourself a Gatemaster ticket, a Gatemaster Technology Summit ticket for 2027. Um, Alrighty, I think that wraps up all our webinars. Ari, we have any Q&As in the chat?
We do. So the first question, what is the big win here? Out of everything in this release, which one feature is going to save my staff the most time during a busy shift?
Yeah, I think number one is probably going to be uh, I'm really torn between the digital passes from the point of sale or the ballot settings. I think the digital passes from the point of sale, I don't know what it is. People like hate fumbling with paper and tickets, and everyone always has their phone on them. So that's probably what it is. But I think everyone migrating towards digital tickets has been, interesting the last few years. And now that Gatemaster supporting it, we're seeing demand grow more and more. And now that we can support digital tickets for not web transactions, you can send a digital ticket to a fully POS purchase. I think that's awesome. So kind of just expanding our possibilities into the future, and I think all our customers are going to like it.
I agree. Next question here. How does this help my bottom line? Will these updates help us sell more tickets or packages more easily than before?
Yeah, I think the biggest one for something like this are those like validity settings. For example, like how many times uh would you have, a time to entry that, for a fact your staff wasn't able to sell a ticket, but with the validity not taking effect on the access node, unless you were combing through every single scan on the report, you kind of just had to trust that um that nobody was misusing their ticket. Whereas now we can be for certain, hey, nobody is getting in past this certain time because it's set up in my item validity settings. I just had a conversation earlier today, actually, that like, yeah, let's price our all-day tickets, a little higher versus these ones that are within a time window can be cheaper since they have to show up within a time slot. So there's tons of opportunity for you to increase revenue with the different validity settings. And yeah, if you're interested, just reach out.
Nice. Another question here. Will my guests notice a difference? When a customer goes to buy a ticket online, is the process faster or simpler for them now?
Yeah, I think well, a lot of the e-commerce changes helped them, but I think number one's going to be that photo upload. Anytime someone uploaded a season pass, it was always a hassle to get the photo uploaded, and you'd have to convert it yourself or change devices or do it from your desktop. I think that's the biggest one customers are going to feel. Um, and another one is probably the terms of service. So if there's something in your terms and conditions that's really important and customers are missing, more often than not, with that new attention we can draw to it and being able to really focus, hey, make sure you read this before you come to our facility is going to help, cut back on any miscommunications or those awkward conversations we have to have in person.
That's great. Two more questions. So the first set of questions is check-in faster. Will these fixes help reduce the lines at the front of our gate during our peak hours?
Yeah. A fix I didn't go over today, but that we went in and made some changes to our Alvarado response codes, and I know our Alvarado gates are our latest and greatest admission solutions, and changes like those just make them faster. So I know the change we made like supports its connectivity, so it's staying online longer. When it does work into offline mode, it's behaving as expected, so you're able to still operate even if the connection flashes out for a little bit. Um, so I think just building assurances like that are helping us day to day and getting people through quicker. Because before that, I know even with our latest and greatest Alvarado gates, there were certain limitations. So I'm happy to say, we're still striving and pushing forward to make sure it is still the latest and greatest.
Wonderful. Very last question.
Yeah.
Do I need to do anything? Is this update automatic, or do I need to go into my settings and change something to see these improvements?
So thankfully with Gatemaster Mobile being in the cloud, whenever my development team releases the build, that's just your whole team has access to it now wonderfully. I do think just if you're going to be a responsible Gatemaster user, definitely give all your settings, especially your like daily admission, whatever your most commonly used item. Look over the valid settings one time just to make sure there's not going to be anything you didn't account for. Never hurts to have that little sanity check. So I'll say no, nothing for the update, but if you want to be extra safe, check out your valid settings. Awesome. Um, well, thank you, Ari. Just double checking. That was it. No other questions in the Q&A.
No other questions. You're good.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you all for the questions. Of course, like I mentioned, if you need help with anything or you were just hoping to stay in touch with us, we're available on almost all social media platforms. And of course, if you need something specifically for your Gatemaster mobile platform, you can reach us through our support portal, the support phone number, or feel free to reach out to me directly and I can kind of direct you where you need to go. Um, yeah, thank you again for coming to our Gatemaster feature drop for May. And yeah, let me know if there's anything I could do to help you all.